I'm not gonna lie. I'm only gonna try like two different titles, two or three. We'll see what happens. Uh, trying to make sure. I'll start playing it. Let me know if when you want me to pause it and stuff.
You see?
You hear
Genesis
it?
1, we didn't really get into the topic of it.
You hear it?
What is that?
Oh, this is this is on my phone. I couldn't pull this up anywhere else except for my phone. This is the video that the dude. Yeah, let me get some context. Me, and the two dudes that you gonna be talking to this weekend. This is me and them two having a discussion on Romans 11. So basically, dude sent me the file, and it's only on TikTok, and I can only pull it up on my phone. So I gotta play it from here.
Okay.
So yeah, can you hear
Genesis.
this?
So I'd just rather go over to Romans
I,
11.
I don't hear anything yet.
You don't hear nothing?
No. For you.
It might be you, not gonna lie, because I can hear it.
Yeah, I probably gotta get out and come back in because I said that thing's still circling around. I can't even leave. Oh, hold
Yeah,
on. Hold
okay.
on. All right.
We
All
gotta
right.
go
Let
over
me get
all
out.
that.
I hear it now. Wait. That's weird. All right. Let me get out and come back in. Hold on.
Okay, okay. There it is. Uh, Easy. Nah, maybe it's under here. Yeah, oh. Are we waiting for unbiased to get back in here? I'm gonna just play around with some stuff real quick. And that's what I want. Oh, right. Hopefully that fixes it. I'll just throw a little thumbnail up. I don't know what's going on. Meeting's okay. Um, yeah, why is it doing this? Ah, frustrating, frustrating, frustrating. No, it's been a minute. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start it just because we already started a little bit late. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start it.
You gotta go over all that. You talking about the spirit of the Lord, huh? Yeah. Look, so
Go to Romans 11.
Yeah, Romans 11. Let's go to Romans 11.
Go to Romans
Bring out what
11.
we're gonna bring out, and then
Because,
we'll go back
you know,
to Romans though. I want to deal with
you know,
that Trinity.
a lot of the times when we read with Romans 11, especially with a lot of people who understand precepts, right?
Gotta add.
Like yesterday when I went to that live, bro, they tried to take me to Romans 11.
But I couldn't even find you, bro.
You couldn't?
I couldn't even.
Yeah, bro. I was up there for a while, bro. They
I
asked me
promise you, Bargain,
a question.
I got off like 10 minutes, 15 minutes after you went over there. Bro, I could not find you, bro. It wasn't like, you know how I can just join his room off your name? It wasn't even popping up, yo.
Oh, I thought you said you
What?
couldn't find Romans 11. I was about to say it's a stick
No,
up.
no,
But you
no.
ain't
Man,
so-
stop
no,
playing.
no.
This guy funny. This man funny. This dude funny. Hey, that's
Yeah, we know what Romans 11
Nah, that's a
is.
real.
Exactly.
Ain't
We
gonna
know
lie.
that. We know that by
That's
memory.
This dude funny as hell.
Like memory.
Oh my
Sometimes you just open the Bible.
Are you back in here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to crack a couple jokes,
Yeah, I didn't call your phone and everything. My man was like, he ain't gonna pick up. Like, all right.
Oh, you called?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
I had to come back this way. Like I didn't want to. I don't want to. Well, I'm here now, but I don't want to click the link because it makes me open up like a web browser through Safari rather than using my application, my Zoom app. So instead of doing all that stuff, you can just send me your meeting number ID, and I just can type it from there into my app. I'm here.
Bro, you know what I need to do real quick? I'm gonna start it up, but let me see if I can find it. I know, dude, there's a way to add you on here where I can literally just invite you instantly. Mentions, channels, bro. I'm gonna find it. Oh, here it is, contacts. Hey, throw your email and throw it on Facebook for me. But I'm gonna start this up.
All right, hold on.
So I'm gonna just send you a friend request on Zoom. So whenever I do Zooms, I can just send you a freaking what's it called directly.
Bam, Romans 11.
And I heard you say that the other day. I'm about to start using that.
Oh, for real, buddy. You trying to be so hard. I can't even say that. I can't do that butt laugh, bro. Like, what the? Bro, you got me. You got me. My hands, bro. Let's go to Romans 11, bro.
Yeah.
Let's drop that. Let's
Go to Romans 11 because everybody goes to Romans 11 verse 13. I don't know if you were just up here. I don't know if you were just up here when I was dealing with primordial, because I literally read out of Acts chapter 15 and verse 23, where Paul is telling you that in the church were sent chosen men to Antioch, to Syria, and to Cilicia of the brethren that are of the Gentiles, right? That's what that's going into, right? But a lot of the times when a lot of people who read precept upon precept, for some reason, I don't know why, they go to Romans 11 and they forget to precept anything. And it's like, where's all the precepts, bro? All of a sudden, Romans 11 doesn't have precepts. Like it's Romans 11, no, you cannot use precepts. Because when I go to Romans 11,
let's see what he brings.
Romans 11 is mighty because it proves our point. Because it's you read the precepts,
because it's so
it cuts Christianity to hell.
That's why I want to
because it tells you that it was written. That's why Paul says, as it is written. And it's like, damn, where was this written, Paul? Let's look for it. Who are the ones that were blinded? For who? And hey, bro,
Yeah,
listen.
let me
When I
read it real quick. I wanna.
Where
yeah,
you at?
let's
Where
go
you
ahead.
at?
Let's go ahead.
So
Yeah, let's
I'm
go
gonna
ahead
let
and
you
get
check.
that. Let's get to that.
That's
I'm
a
gonna let you
5-hour
bring out what you
discussion.
gonna bring out, and then when you done, we
Yeah,
gonna.
Bro, it goes for a long time, bro.
Damn.
I'm gonna have to break this up in parts. I want to get the whole thing on here. But
He
Loki,
said, no, we know Romans 11 like the back of our mind, man. We know that.
yeah, we gonna see, dude. He's gonna go to so many places, and I'm gonna ask specific questions about the verses, and they're just gonna jump, jump, jump. That's all they did. But you'll at least be able to like see some of the places they go to.
Yeah. Yeah, I
We
want to
gonna
see what
interrogate
they're
it.
going to jump.
Let go.
yeah, Ralph. He trying to put the seasoning in. I ain't even put the meat in yet,
I'm talking
bro.
about this. Good
I'm
seasoning.
throwing it
So
in
there
there.
can't be no unclean.
Hey,
Ain't
beautiful,
no
bro. I love
unclean meat
that.
going in the pot right here. Walker just he dropped all them good.
Hey, look, and they took this the wrong way. I said that because I'm like, bro, you like you jumping the gun. Let's get into the first part and then worry about the second. He's all over the place already.
Vegetables and herbs in there, right? Now you better not drop not damn piece of unclean meat because I'm right there bogarting it. Come on now, come on.
Bro, I got all the shrimp. It's but no, I'm joking.
Oh my
Uh,
God! Man, hey, I like
Hey,
that.
bro, that's what's up, bro.
You have a
I
good
like
sense of
that. I
humor,
like
though. I
that,
like
bro.
that. That's what I like
Yeah,
about
I
you. You
love
got a
that.
good sense of
Yeah,
humor,
man.
you know? Go ahead, though.
Yeah,
no,
that's
conversating.
mighty, bro.
Let's
I
rock
like
on.
Love that,
conversating with
bro.
you, Judah. We had a bumpy conversation, but we was joking and giggling. We had a decent time.
That's
But
right.
I'm gonna disagree with you here, but I'm gonna present my case.
That's right. And I
So
respect that, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah,
yeah.
how'd you meet them?
So I'm gonna start at verse.
Bro, you see the title up on the screen, right?
Okay, yeah.
I jumped up because of the Trinity. And I was just asking him basic questions, and he didn't know, and he wanted to just go with his narrative. So we had a bumpy conversation at first, and then I was like, I wanted to talk about the second part later. So, I started joking, being cool with him and stuff, talking and stuff like that. So we kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but I met him on TikTok, so
Oh, TikTok. All right.
That's cool.
yeah.
Romans 11
So,
and 7.
in other
That's
words,
cool.
they
Go
got
ahead,
what
right?
they're
Yeah.
looking for.
What'd you say?
That's in other words, they got what they're looking for.
What you mean? Like somebody to come up and talk about
Yeah,
this?
that's why they made the post.
Oh
They
yeah,
said,
yeah,
prove me
yeah.
wrong. They got what they're looking for.
Oh, 100%, 100,000%.
All right.
Let me turn on my screen. Let me turn on my screen so that we can see it, right?
I am.
Yeah.
Let me turn on my screen so we can see it.
Yeah.
Sister
Those guys
Alcenta said,
those
add
guys
the
are
chicken
definitely
stock.
California.
Shalom, Sister Alcenta.
You say that?
I can tell by that accent.
Oh, okay. Oh, they time gonna be off then. Dang. Okay, I didn't even think about that. But they still be up. They still be up around like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock your time.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Everybody wants some of this. Hey, look, everybody wants some of this meal. He want to come add shrimp to it. Like, come on, bro.
Hey man, it's good shrimp out here in Japan, man. I don't know.
That's that.
Romans 11
That's that
and
6 and 6.
verse 7. Verse 7.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right. Is it cool if I read and ask questions, or y'all
Oh
want
yeah,
me to just read?
You go ahead, go ahead, and I'll just follow along, showing to the screen for the 11 that are here, so that they can be edified with us, right?
Bro.
Okay.
Right,
All right. So
go ahead,
Romans
Keith.
11, verse 7, it says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." So in verse 7 here, when it mentions Israel, is this speaking about all of Israel, or just like northern or southern?
Northern and Southern.
No.
It's when it
So,
says
I
Israel,
got him, brother.
it's both, right?
my understanding, according to the precepts that I obtained, is Southern Kingdom being blinded.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said it's both.
Well, no, I'm saying when
What'd you say?
Yeah, dude, you can't lead them, right? So look, like even in law, like if you were a district attorney or defense attorney, you cannot lead the witness. You can't say, right? Like you have to just ask the question, or tell them. So it's either or. You got to ask the question and for open-ended answers, or you have to just tell them the answer. Right? What you do a lot is you try to lead them, and then because they have a dishonest position, they're gonna pick up on that every time, and they'll be reluctant and disingenuous the rest of the show. You got to just ask the question, like, hey, I'm just waiting for your answer. I'm not saying good, bad, wrong, right. Just give me your answer and let's move on. Like, I'm just documenting. I'm just trying to pick your brain, and that's how I talk to those guys. Hey, man, I'm just picking your brain. I just want to know what we agree on and what we disagree on. I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm just trying to find out. I'm trying to find out what we disagree on so we can debate from there. And I'll
Got
ask.
you.
So now they're more open to just answer questions. And now they're like, wow, I wonder if he disagreed with that, or you know what I mean. Now they are left with that. They don't give an
Yeah.
answer. I wonder if it's the good one, or I wonder how he feels. So they don't know what I'm a challenge, and then I'll circle back. But yeah, don't lead them, because I could tell right now when you said right. If I was in this position, I'd be like, well, it depends. You got to check the context. I would do the
Yeah.
English like shuffle.
It says Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for. When it says Israel, is that northern or southern? Or is that both?
Northern.
That's
It's
northern?
black for it seeketh, and that but the election that had obtained it, and the rest were blinded. The rest that were blinded was Southern Kingdom.
Southern kingdom.
And
So
I can prove it.
Correct.
the elect that hath obtained it, that's the northern kingdom.
Yes, because they were elect according to the foreknowledge, right?
Right.
We see that in the book
No,
of Isaiah, chapter 44 and 45.
okay. Yeah, whether you want to say the southern kingdom was blinded, northern kingdom was elect, that's fine. I'm just making sure we agree. When it says Israel here in the very beginning, that's all Israel, right? And then Paul's just breaking down there's blinded and then there's elect.
Correct.
Okay. And it says, according as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear. We know that's from Isaiah 28, 29.
Yeah, let me ask you a question now.
Isaiah 29.
Yeah, let me ask you a question now
Yeah.
about verse 8 before you go to verse 9. Who is that talking about?
Oh, that's talking about, I'm pretty sure that's talking about all of Israel, like as a whole.
Okay. I disagree. We disagree.
I take it back.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, no, I
absolutely.
mean,
Because
Go
this
ahead.
is this is very, very important, because it's literally quoting, and David saith,
right.
let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. This is literally quoted in the OT, and he's talking about someone.
But that's a
Right.
continuation from verse 8.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. So my stance on the blinded,
That's what
my
blinded.
stance on,
Them the ones who did. Them the ones who rejected Christ. Remember, Christ had many who believed on him, but the ones who were blinded, meaning didn't want to believe that was him, were the leaders. Alan.
right. No, I agree. But what about the ones who, let's say maybe didn't hear about Christ or whatever, and they were away, like, Acts 2, you have all these Jews coming from different places. They're in these different places, and maybe at this point they don't hear about Christ, but they don't believe. Is that technically blinded?
No, because remember, John paid the way, right? Remember, you had ones who believed that was in Greece. They believed in Christ and had never seen him. Why? Because they were John's disciples, like we read. I think that's up there in Acts 19.
Hey, did I ask that though? Like, if you listen to my question, I was like, what about those who never heard of Christ
Right.
and did not believe? So you're gonna see a lot of this. I should have even brought up that when it's talk about David says, "Let their table be made a snare." That David is pre-split. I should have brought that up. I don't know. Maybe I do a little bit later.
Are you live?
Yeah, I'm live. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oops. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to say when Paul ran into him. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
That's over there, and then that's on that side of the world, and then to prove that John did a lot of paving. Even when Peter went through Samaria, remember, you had people right there that had believed. So Peter and John go
Yeah.
down to the sea, but they did come to find out they did. How did they believe? Because they through John's water baptism, that's how they believed in the name,
Right,
right?
right. They had prior experience, prior revelation to
Right.
already look for it to the Messiah. But even, even that, Israel is without excuse. They've been told about the Messiah. But my point is if somebody, just in regards to Israel, as we're looking at this, if they don't believe in the Messiah, they're blinded whether Christ or his disciples came and talked to them or not. If they don't
Correct.
believe, they're blinded. So that's my stance on it.
Correct.
And that's
Because we
fine
still
if
see
you
it
got,
today, right? We still
yeah,
see the Old Testament only Israel.
Now, notice they said correct when I asked them that question. That would mean that the blinded are not just the leaders or the southern kingdom. It's all those who don't believe in Christ, whether they've heard about it or not.
Yeah.
So they agree with me here only because I didn't directly challenge exactly what they said, but I just rephrased it.
Okay.
Like Hebrews, that they don't
yeah.
believe in Yahushua. So they're blinded till this day. They're blinded.
Mm,
Right?
We going all the
yeah.
way down to verse 11 for real. But what
Yeah.
so where in this context is it talking about salvation for another nation?
So notice I wanted to keep reading, but he said, where in this context is it talking about salvation for another nation? So
Right.
I stopped my continuous reading and I just go straight to the verse.
Okay.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Okay, bet,
Actually,
So,
no,
bet.
I keep going. Okay. No, I keep going.
okay. So I'm gonna start up at verse 10.
Okay, Tim.
Let let their eyes be darkened that they may not see and bow down their back alway.
Mm-hmm.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles for to
Mm-hmm.
provoke them to jealousy. Now there's some important pieces
Yeah,
here, right?
okay. I figured that. Okay, I figured
Yeah.
that.
So you guys said in verse 7, the elect were the northern kingdom, and the blinded are the southern kingdom. So
Mm-hmm.
when we read verse 11, it says, hmm,
No, excuse me. Go ahead. No, I'm thinking out loud. I
yeah.
apologize. Go ahead.
But verse 11, it says, have they stumbled that they should fall? This is
Right.
clearly speaking about the blinded, unless you guys want to protest that. But I
Yeah,
understand it to be
I do.
speaking about the
I do.
blinded.
I do.
So, so if the election hath already obtained it, they're not really in the conversation for salvation because they've already obtained what they're seeking for. The rest were blinded, they haven't. So then there's this third group introduced that salvation has come to, which is the Gentiles. And then it says, for to provoke them to jealousy. Y'all know where that's quoting from, right?
That's quoting from Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21. Right?
Right.
So
let's get there.
this is very important. This is very important, right? Because we see this again being mentioned in the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 45. Correct?
All right, you want to go there? Let's go there and read it.
Before we go there, let's get Isaiah 8. I'm gonna show you something.
No. Wait. Hey.
Wait. I gotta. He said, I can't go back on the video, but he just said Acts 13 and 45 that Deuteronomy 32:21 is quoted in Acts 13. You heard that, right? You might be away from the screen. Anyways, I'm gonna pull this up.
I'm
real.
talking to mute. I said, yeah.
Okay, so I'm about to read Acts 13 and 45. It says, but when the Jews saw the excuse me, wait, hold up. Okay. But when the Jews saw the multitudes, they were filled with envy and spake against those things which were spoken by Paul, contradicting and blaspheming. So he's saying that's an exact quote. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
Jay, we're gonna hit those priests because this is very, very important.
No doubt.
Because this is being quoted Acts chapter 13, verse 45, Romans 11:11, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21, right? Where he will provoke them with a foolish nation right? Who are not a people. So in the Bible, we're going to have to find precepts.
Now that I'm looking at this, I really wish I would have paid attention to this point he made. Because I'm looking at the word for envy, it's zelu, and I'm looking at the word for provoke in Romans 11. And it's peta pedale wait, parazelusai. So a completely different word. I wish I would have pointed that out, but just keep it going.
To understand who is a foolish nation and not a people. We have to find it. Otherwise, it goes out the window, right? So where do you want me to go next? Because I got all these precepts in the bag, bro.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to go?
Let's go to that Deuteronomy passage.
Let's go to Deuteronomy. Oh, absolutely. Right? Deuteronomy 32:21. Right? Moses is prophesying to them, to the entire 12 tribes, because they are all together, telling them.
He just cut himself.
Right.
A prophecy that is going to happen.
That was probably your. So sometimes you want to enter, footnote. That might have been it right there.
He said he's talking to the 12 tribes.
Yeah, you smell. Oh, so all of them. That's when I would have said that.
I'm gonna make a footnote. 21.
That's the only time I would be rude when they're reading. Because it's a really important thing to be rude about. Oh, so all of them.
Yeah.
Hey, let me talk. I'm sorry. I just wanted to highlight that.
No, this dude right here, he be talking like he don't hear you when you try to overtalk. He just be talking.
Okay.
So I let this dude. Honestly, I let them go. You see, sometimes I try to step in, but if they talk, I just let them talk.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just trying to hear all the points that they're going to bring out. See how much pushback I get when I say, hey, you said this here, but if I plug this in here, this is what this means. It doesn't make sense. I just want to see what kind of pushback they give.
Okay.
Right? Would you agree with that? All right.
Yeah.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Who is that talking about?
Right. So this was what I was going to ask.
Okay.
Right. So the Israelites provoked God to jealousy by going after a different God. So God is going to provoke Israel by going after a different people. That's the only thing that logically makes sense.
Right.
That's it.
So can we add any other precepts to see who this not a people and foolish nation is? The Bible tells us everything. Oh, let's go to that.
But this is a prophecy.
Where is that? Where is that?
Hey.
Oh, you asking me?
Yes.
But this is a prophecy.
If not, I can show you.
Yeah.
I can show you, right? Let's go to them. I will move them to jealousy with those which are
Yeah, right.
not a people.
And that's why
Right? Let's go there.
And I will. So that means he ain't
Isaiah chapter 7
so he's going
and
to do
verse
it.
8.
See what I'm saying?
Right? This is very important. The Bible tells us every precept upon precept, line upon line. For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin. And within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken, that it be not a people, that it be not a people. Ephraim is the head of the 10 tribes.
I got to interject here. So the reason I didn't bring this up while we were discussing is because the host basically showed me he didn't want to go to the original text, but I didn't know this guy was going to go to the original text and it was going to be okay to have that type of conversation. So when you read this in Hebrew, let me pull it up real quick. You're going to see some differences from this to Deuteronomy 32:21. So when it says not a people, the Hebrew term is me'am. Me'am. So am is people. The mem just means from. So God's going to break Ephraim from being a people. You can say that what the King James is a good, bad translation, doesn't matter. So when we go to Deuteronomy 32:21, we read the jealousy by those which are not a people. So when it says not a people in Deuteronomy 32:21, it's belo am. So the bay, I believe, I'm not sure, it's not exactly translated here, but it could mean in, to, or from. But lo is the negation, it's the not. And then am is people. So you actually have two different Hebrew phrases that they're kind of trying to connect, and without trying to get into a hassle, fight with the freaking host for going into Hebrew. I was just like, you know what, let him have it. But I'm like, still, it logically doesn't make sense when you read Deuteronomy 32:21.
Right? Northern and Southern Kingdom. Right? So we understand that after they are not a people, the Northern Kingdom was divorced. We see that in the book of Jeremiah chapter 3, correct?
Say that one more time.
We see that Northern Kingdom was divorced. We see it in Jeremiah chapter 3.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Okay.
Also,
the next.
Also in Ezekiel 37. Also in Ezekiel 37, they show it clean that Ephraim is the house of the northern two tribes.
Khan. That's why we see house of Judah and house of Israel, Ephraim being the head of those 10 tribes. Right? We see that in the book of 1 Kings chapter 11 and 1 Kings chapter 12. We see where the separation happened.
Right?
Right?
Verse 31. That's correct.
Khan.
Right. But
So-
here's my question.
Go ahead.
So if Israel provoked God to jealousy by going after another God, how is God going to provoke Israel by going after Israel?
Because Southern Kingdom really didn't go all the way the hell off.
Right.
Right?
Well, no, they
Southern Kingdom didn't do it.
Hold on.
No,
When you
they
look
didn't
at
go all the way off.
Hold on, bro.
They didn't go all the way off, King.
You hear the answer?
Wait. So, but what makes them believe that Southern Kingdom didn't go all the way off?
Yeah, no, they did. All of them went off.
I know.
All of them.
I know, because I read Kings 1 and 2 all the way. Like God was displeased with both of them. They both went to idolatry. They did everything. Like, of course, they say the Northern was a little more wickeder, but wicked is wicked. So they both went off. The North did something different as far as wickedness, but God was dissatisfied with both of them.
Yeah. See, you got a little more, like I was just really trying to stick to this point because I really wanted to get into that Hebrew, but they wasn't. And I didn't really want to go into the whole I don't want to call it a rabbit trail, but like side trail of saying, well, they both went into idolatry, because I know they're gonna go to different scriptures. So I'm really just trying to keep them here, let them finish,
So
get back
what
to
verse
Deuteronomy
are y'all still arguing? Verse 11.
11. Yeah.
Okay. So now, what does? Okay. So now Romans 11 says, provoke to jealousy, right?
Right.
Okay. So, but they're reading Isaiah 8, and this is saying,
That Ephraim will be broken off, that he be not a people.
Right. So, but that's not in Romans 11. It'd be not a
Right.
people. So why are we? Maybe I'm late. I'm trying to catch up. Why are we arguing now?
Oh,
Not,
because Deuteronomy 32:21 says God will cause Israel to be jealous by
oh, okay.
not
So
a people
they brought Isaiah 7:8 to pretty much.
to show that Israel is not a people right there. That is northern Israel.
Yeah. So Isaiah 7 was to counter or add in their minds add clarity to Deuteronomy 32.
Right, right.
Okay.
And then I still come from the same framework of, well, logically, it doesn't make sense if Israel made God jealous by going after a different God. God is going to make Israel jealous by going after Israel. And you can see they kind of, it was a quick 2 seconds. They were kind of like, blah, 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 you know?
They did.
No, no.
Right.
You know, the only reason God never destroyed the southern kingdom was because of the
Get that
promise he gave to
Hosea
David.
12, bro.
Each
Pull that up.
each
Hosea
time
12 while he's saying this.
Yeah. Look.
each
So
time God destroyed them, he constantly told them, he said, the only reason why I have not utterly destroyed you is because of my promise that I gave to King David.
because of a promise,
Yeah, we can
absolutely.
read that.
That's why he did.
Right.
That's why they didn't go all the way off, King. This is why he kept a remnant, right, for himself, right. This is why he did these things, and he provoked them to jealousy with the nation that was divorced. This is why they didn't want to deal with one another. Southern Kingdom didn't want shit to do with Northern Kingdom. And I'm going to prove it. I can prove everything, right?
Say that
The
again.
foolish nation, right?
They didn't want to they went to war.
Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22.
That's what I'm saying.
It says, for my people is foolish. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. Sottish means stupid. And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Remember, he doesn't know any other family on the earth. He only deals with Israel.
Right.
He doesn't deal with nobody else.
So here Jeremiah is talking about all of Israel.
Like
No.
Jeremiah got
No.
judgments to northern, southern, and all nations. Jeremiah went to the nations, bro, and Israel.
Right. No,
And
yeah, he
Jeremiah
talked to
chapter
both.
31.
He talked to I know. He talked.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
I wish I would have looked this up because this was a good question. They said they're gonna ask this later. They're gonna ask when were any other nations called foolish? I want you to jot this down. Jeremiah 10 and verse 8.
Hold on. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah. So when you read that, the very beginning of the chapter says, for the
Christmas verse, right?
Yeah, the famous Christmas verse.
Yeah.
Says the customs of the heathen are vain, and then it goes into those customs, and then it says, but they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities. So this is speaking about the Gentile nations and their idolatry.
Right.
That's the immediate context.
Yeah.
Because inanimate objects can't be foolish. Keep going.
To the northern, he
Jeremiah
talked to the
36.
southern, but he
Right.
also addressed the both. Yeah.
And
Yes.
the nations.
But here when he says for my people is foolish, he's talking about all of them, right? Because all of Israel is his people.
No, Jeremiah is prophesying to the northern kingdom.
Yeah,
Right.
he's giving you he's
Right.
telling you who he's talking about.
Right.
He's gonna provoke them to anger with a people with somebody that is not a people. We just read in Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 8.
And he
that
tell us in Jeremiah
Ephraim
3
will
who
be
that is.
not a people. My
Okay,
people
so-
is foolish.
Jeremiah-
They're foolish.
Okay.
Not a people and a foolish nation that This is who he's talking about. This is literally being quoted by the Bible, being
Yeah. Come on, man.
fulfilled, telling you it. The people that are not a people, the people that are foolish, because you're not going to see. And I ask people all the time, show me where he's talking about another nation of people that are foolish, that don't know him, that are not a people.
Right.
What other nation is that? Because this is, and I promise you, they're not gonna find it. You're not gonna find that other nations are foolish because they don't know the Most High. He doesn't deal with them, right? Why do I say this? Why am I so assured that I can say, man, nah, the other nation, he don't deal with nobody else, right? Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word of the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all of your iniquities.
You know what I'm saying?
See the rabbit trails, dude. I'm just trying to let them get it out. I'm really just trying to not say anything so we can just get back to Deuteronomy and then get back to Romans 11. You can see why this is a freaking 5 hour, or it's really just a 2.5 hour conversation.
Yeah.
Joel saying the same thing in 2:27.
So the Most High is a
Right.
man, according to the book of Numbers, right? 19. It tells you that he is not a man that he should lie, or right? He's that, or that he should or the
Like, what are they even talking about? I don't even know what they're talking about.
Son of Man that he should repent.
Yeah.
Right? The Most High tells you he doesn't change. He
Yeah.
made a covenant with the people.
So I know what they're saying. They're saying, like, you're wrong because what you're saying, you're making God a liar. Like, he's contradicting himself.
Yeah,
So
but it's like in the same respect though, if I rebut this verse is easily rebutted. The word known is past tense. So that means when we approach the New Testament, it's not like God never said, I will never know any of the other families of the earth. He just said at this point, you only have I known. And this is true. Up until this point, God has only known the children of Israel. But that can change. Just like he had Saul as king, he ended up later choosing David and repenting, or not really regretting, but like changing his stance on having Saul as king and making David king. So God can change up what he wants to do. I mean, he's changed the law multiple times. When they went into exile and Daniel was praying, he was praying towards Jerusalem because they couldn't offer sacrifice. But because Daniel was still praying towards Jerusalem, God looked on that and still saw it as favorable as though Daniel offered sacrifice. So there's things that God can change if he wants to. I didn't want to get into that whole conversation. That's a whole can of worms. I was really
To be his people.
like, okay, y'all got it. Just go ahead and finish up and let me get back to what I was saying.
And he has to, because he loves them, he's going to chastise them. When he provoked them to jealousy with a foolish nation, remember, he slapped them around, took their heritage from them, made them forget who they were.
Right. But here's
we
my
can see it over. So, all right, go ahead.
But here's my hang up. How does Israel make God jealous by going after another God, but God is making Israel jealous by going after them? That's not how jealousy works. And that's not how God says that.
So now you're going to have to prove.
Wait, pause for 1 second.
Go ahead and prove.
Just want to, trying to give him a bath and listen. So, because the word was loud. All right, that's why I was on mute. I didn't want to distract from the video. It's okay. So when they read Deuteronomy 32 and 21, when it says foolish nation, are they saying that foolish nation is not Gentiles?
Yes, that's exactly what they're saying.
All right, yeah, this is man, like this is crazy delusion, man. All right, but this, yeah, this is wild, bro. So we're just gonna lie to be right. Okay.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Out of the Bible.
Yeah,
Go ahead
yeah.
and
So
I ain't gonna lie.
yeah. So when you read Deuteronomy, what was that? Deuteronomy 32. Let me pull it up.
Deuteronomy 32, verse 21. I can go back to it. I can go back to it.
Yep.
Don't worry
But
about
the
it.
question you asking, bro, that is easy to answer, man. All you gotta do is go in the Bible and see. I can give you a clean answer. Why would he do that? And who
Right.
did he
So
do
he
that
said.
with? Why did he do
So
that?
he.
Because they rejected Christ. Who was the they? The scribes, Sadducees, and Pharisees. Who did he send?
Right.
The
Well,
disciples.
we gonna get.
Who did he
Yeah,
send? The
we gonna get
disciples.
into
So I
that.
can answer this easily, or
Yeah.
explain it, but we gonna go on the scriptures though.
Hold on one
Let's
second.
But
go.
That his point made no point. It made no sense what he just said.
All right, so I'm just going back. So what was so let me just tell you what I think. So his rebuttal to Deuteronomy 32 and 21 that this foolish nation can't be Gentiles because God never called Gentiles foolish before.
Yeah, yeah, that was his point.
So so when we read Deuteronomy 32, we're gonna ignore the context that this is talking about. Well, it is talking about Israel collective, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he's speaking to Israel.
Right. So so foolish nation's a separate group.
Yeah. Says they moved me to jealousy. All of Israel went after idolatry. They all went after that which is not God. So it's not like I should that would have been a good point to bring up too. Um, but yeah, they all went after that which is not God. So they're all in this, they moved me to jealousy. So God's gonna provoke them, all those who moved God after jealousy, by going after a foolish nation.
Wait, so they got
Yeah.
to then when it says I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people, what's the response to that?
So the response to that there is basically the not a people are those I mean I would just understand these as Gentiles, but their response was Isaiah 7, where it says that God is going to cut Ephraim off from being not a people. You're
Okay.
saying, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So listen, man. Listen for your chats and your future listeners. This is horrible reading comprehensive skills. Like you're just gonna find somewhere in the book where it says, you could say good people, but I can write a book about good people, bad people. You can't see the word people and say, hey, these are talking about these folks over here. You're gonna ignore what the author intended uses of where he's directing you. Like he's clearly talking about people foreign from Israel. But so this is going to be interesting. Yeah, I might do what you do. I might let them just talk.
Yeah, just let them talk. You're a little bit better as far as like your conversational acuity. Like I really just wanted to not go down any side trails, but you like, yeah, I want them side trails. I want you to explain
You
this. I
have
want you
to.
to, yeah. But
You
look,
have to.
look, I didn't do that, but it's funny because I didn't do that, and this is still a 2.5 hour conversation.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that with them. Most people,
Yeah,
you're not supposed to, but with these folks, you have to, man. But you have to like find a way to bring it all back, like at some point. Just sum it up. Like Chat GPT. Okay, summary. This,
right.
that, tie it all together, and then it's over.
Yeah, no, 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 for real. And then yeah, because that's what I wanted to basically do. So at some point, I'm like, you know what? We disagree on this. Let's go back to Romans 11. That's where I was just like, yeah, let's go ahead and just put this down. We disagree. Let's go back to Romans 11. We'll go to the next verse. But I should have held them at did they fall that they should stumble? God forbid. I should have asked them who's the they. I think maybe I do later because again, this is a long time, but maybe I actually do right after this.
Go
Let me
ahead.
read this. So it says, they, Israel, have provoked me to jealousy
Mm-hmm.
by what is not God. So the way they provoked God to jealousy was by going after another God.
And we
They
see
have
who that
moved me
was.
to anger by their fool. What?
And we see who them gods was. They were going after
Right, right.
God in the captivity they was
Right.
in. All right,
It
go
was a
ahead.
different God that wasn't God.
Right, because that the first the,
Um,
the, the first commandment is what? There shall have no other gods before me. So that's how they turn God to jealousy. Right?
right. And here Moses is speaking to the one people. He's not speaking to northern and southern. He's speaking to one
Yeah,
people.
Remember,
he's
it's
talking
a
to
So,
the
but
12
prophecy though.
tribes.
It's a
so,
prophecy
This is
though.
a
right,
prophecy, King.
It's a
This
prophecy
is
though.
right,
prophecy right here.
Remember,
right. No,
now watch this.
I
Hold on,
agree.
I got your
I
barking. While he
agree.
talking, go ahead and pull that Hosea 11 and 12 or like I asked you for real. Pull that up, because this going into what he's saying. And this going
When
into
he
what
said,
Moses was saying when how the northern he showed how the northern kingdom was broken off. We see the southern kingdom going off too, but God never stopped dealing with them. This why. Read this prophecy right here. This why he
right.
never stopped
So,
dealing with them.
wait, let me
But the
finish this. Let me
prophecy
finish this. Let
was
me
the
finish
northern
this.
was gonna be brought back in. Yeah, he just pulling it up, but go ahead.
Yeah, so they provoke God to jealousy by going after what is not God, and then God says, "But I will provoke them to jealousy by those who are not a nation. I will move them to anger by a foolish nation." So it wouldn't make any sense if Israel's going after a different God, causing God to be jealous. God is going to do the same thing or something different. No, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to go after another people
This,
who is
okay,
not Israel.
this oh, okay. So now watch this. Read that. It says, Ephraim compasses about me with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. Who is that speaking about? They can pass God with lies, in the house of Israel with deceit. Who is Ephraim? Who is the house of Israel?
That's northern kingdom.
Northern kingdom. Ephraim is who?
Ephraim is the head of the northern kingdom.
Right. And you see that clear right there. Ephraim, right? And the house of Israel, right? But
Yeah,
Judah, who is Judah?
that's the southern kingdom.
Yet ruleth with God and is faithful with his saints. So you see that?
Yeah,
Wait. Should have brought this back, bro. Because remember in the beginning, they said that the elect were the northern kingdom and the blinded are the southern kingdom. I should have snuck that in there and keep it going.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
So remember, he never stopped dealing with them. Now let's get Zechariah 12:7. I was looking for this. Get Zechariah 12:7.
yeah. And then after that, we're gonna go back to Romans 11.
Bet. This dealing
Honestly,
exactly with Romans
we
11.
just gonna move past. We just gonna move past the jealousy part because
Right, this dealing exactly with Romans 11. Watch this.
We gotta stay on that jealousy.
Watch this.
We
Hey,
have to
watch
stay
this.
on that.
we're not gonna agree.
Hold on, y'all.
Oh,
Listen.
whoa.
We dealing exactly with
Okay.
Romans 11 and 11 right
Yeah,
now.
we have to deal with
That's what
this
we dealing
jealousy
with
part,
right
King.
now.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to prove the envy, the jealousy with the other people. It is going to be on you to prove that this other people are the other nations, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
that's
on
easy.
you.
That's in verse 14.
Okay,
That's easy.
absolutely.
Can we go back
Zechariah
to
chapter 12 and verse 7.
Hold on, 1 second.
Hold on, Hamlet. We're dealing with
One second, man.
the brother first. Then we'll deal with you.
Read, go to verse
The
6.
Lord
Go to
also-
verse 6. Go to verse 6.
Salakia. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheath, and they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem.
All right.
The
Now,
Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first,
that's why he went
That
to
the
the southern kingdom. Read.
and the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
You see that? Now, what is that talking about right there?
Yeah, no, that's curious because Jerusalem is in Judah. So actually, I would ask you the question.
It's talking about Israel.
That's why Christ was sent to them, bro. right? Remember who
Okay.
Christ was sent to, and they rejected him. From them rejecting him, right? Remember, they were sent to another. Christ commanded them to go to who? None other but the lost sheep of the
Yeah.
house of Israel. Remember when Peter and Paul, remember when the disciples, when they first went on the other side, they went to none other but the Jews first.
Well,
None
wait,
other
hold up.
but
Okay,
the Jews first. That's who they went to.
wait. Okay, I don't want to go into that tangent
I mean,
yet.
that's what it is.
We're gonna go there.
We're
We're
going
gonna go to
into it.
Matthew 10.
It
We're gonna
had
go
to
to
be
Matthew 10.
established with the
Hosea.
Jews first.
Bro, it's been like 6 scriptures. I'm just trying to get back to Romans 11.
Yeah. Wait, where they at now? What's the point here?
Don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, so now remember, so their response for Deuteronomy 32 and 21. Yeah, go in there. So their response was, when does God show us where God calls them a foolish nation, right?
Right.
Okay.
Actually, can we go to
So,
Oh,
Matthew?
go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. I want to ask them: are the Gentiles wise? No. Are they a foolish nation? It's
That's a
like,
that's a good
like,
question.
yeah. Sometimes what's understood don't need to be explained. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? They a foolish nation, my boy? Yes, they are. All right, let's move
Yeah, that's true. See, bro, you got that captain wit, bro.
on.
D10 real quick, because
That's why.
you
That's
mentioned
why.
something.
That's why you
Yeah.
see. That's why you see it being brought to them first.
Let's go to Matthew chapter 10. This is very, very important. Matthew chapter 10.
That was backing up that Psalm 69 verse 22 and 23, Barbie. That's backing up.
Absolutely.
You read that verse
What
5
do you
if you
want?
can.
Absolutely. I knew that's where you. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanding them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles,
Right.
and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
But do what?
Rather
But
go to the house. Yep.
rather
Uh-huh.
to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Because Christ
Straight commanded.
established that. Listen,
So-
because Christ reformed the church. Christ started it. Remember, that's
Right.
going into that. That's going into that Acts 15 where you was at. Remember the tabernacle of David. Is the tabernacle of David all 12 tribes?
Right, but
Yes,
Judas,
it
let me
is.
ask this.
Was it, hold
Let me
on.
ask
Yes,
this.
it is. Yes, it is. Is it all 12 tribes right now? When they making that statement in Matthew 10, are they all 12 tribes? No,
The
they are
lost sheep of the
not.
house of Israel.
No, they are not all 12 tribes. Remember,
So who's the lost sheep of the house of Israel?
the northern kingdom that was cut off from God.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
not
they
a
were
people.
cut off.
What you got?
write that one down. Yeah, they're in trouble, because now that goes into my rabbit hole that I would like to introduce those guys. See, for me, you can't say that. You got to say, "Hey, man, it's both." But
Right.
once you say, I'm gonna write this one down. So your question was, who's the lost sheep, right?
Yeah, who's the lost sheep of the house of Israel?
Hold on. Yeah, bro, trust me, it's over. I might go there right away. I might even do Romans 11. Yeah. You go
Well,
ahead.
look, we can say we can start with that, and then we could go to Romans 11.
Yeah. Well, like they have to talk long, so of course we'll get there. But I might just start, because I see how long it can go with Romans 11, how far they go to rabbit holes. I might just go right there first. Like, hey, let's talk about that, and then and you know what? I might not even push too hard, but I will come back to it. So they said the northern tribe, right?
Yeah, northern Israel.
Hey, bro, that is because when I debated the Israelite, I was expecting him to say northern Israel. When I asked that question, he said mixture of both. So I had to like sidestep my little shenanigan right there and go somewhere else. But yeah, you're not supposed to fall. You're not supposed to say northern tribe. Go ahead.
You
That's
cut
bad.
off from God and you're not a people. What are you called?
Okay.
What are you called?
You called a lost sheep.
You called a Gentile. Let's get that in
Call it
point.
Gen.
Yeah. Now you need to say, okay, where in the Bible? And it's a setup. It's a setup. Where in the Bible did God call Israel a Gentile? So I know the only verse they're gonna go, which is talking about actual Gentiles. So just be
Yeah.
prepared. Just be prepared for these rabbit holes. But yeah, I would take them down. Okay, because check this out. If that's true, then why all the wickedness that people were doing under the leadership of all of those kings? How come none of them were called a Gentile when they were the most wicked ever? How
Yeah.
nobody were called a Gentile? They were all still called Israel, Ephraim, all the nicknames we give them today.
Mm-hmm.
So in real life, why weren't they called a Gentile in real life? Why we got to look back and call them a Gentile?
Let me write this down.
Yeah, man, that Northern tribe, bro. Watch this soup salad I put them in with that one. I can't wait.
Wait, hold up.
You are not a
Go back to
people.
verse 5.
You're a Gentile.
Wait, hold up. Wait. Go back
You're
to
a
verse 5.
heathen. You're a Gentile.
No, I know what you guys are saying. Just go back to verse 5 real quick.
That's right.
These
Okay.
12
So
Yeah, I knew that Zechariah was going to do it.
Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not.
Because Christ
So
did that. Christ established
so-
that with the lady at the well. Remember,
Right,
Christ went
so-
to Samaria. That had to be established. The 90%
Bro, he can't even let me get my question off. Oh
of the
man.
miracles he did up there in the land of Galilee, that's all Israel right there. That's Israel.
Right, but-
Samaria and Galilee, that's northern Israel.
You know, for good reasons, I dodge that talking point. I can easily dismantle them, but it goes into a whole new topic.
Yeah.
So I just listen. I let them just say it. I cringe, but I let them just say it, and we just move on. Right? That's the only time I'm probably ever 100% disciplined from like a rabbit hole or like a disingenuous talking point. That right there.
Don't let them get you off track because I literally just want to say go not into the way of the Gentiles. Who are these Gentiles? And into any city, the Samaritans. Who are the Samaritans?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do to them.
Watch this. I think I did it pretty decent here. Watch this.
Territory. We see him also in the land of Judea. Christ,
Right, but Judas, you said what are the lost sheep called? And you said Gentiles, but Jesus is telling you don't go into the way of the Gentiles. He doesn't say Galilee
Hold
here.
on.
He
Let's
says,
get it with scripture. Who are the lost sheep? Let's get
Like, bro, I mean, I can't make this up, bro.
Isaiah 50, Barney. Let's get it. Let's get Isaiah 50. Let's let the Bible tell us who the lost sheep is.
but you just said they're called Gentiles, and Jesus didn't say they're called Gentiles here.
No.
That was my point. You can go there. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not disputing that.
I'm gonna show you. Yeah. We can. The Bible proves itself. It don't need our.
Wait, before we
A
read
lot of
this, can I
people
ask
don't
a question?
know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Did Jesus say that the lost sheep were called Gentiles?
Did Jesus say
Excuse
the
me?
lost sheep were called Gentiles? In what verse you're saying to?
Any verse that Jesus is speaking, did he ever
What
refer
verse
to the
are you
lost sheep?
referring to? What verse are you referring to?
Just any place
Yes,
that
you just
Jesus
said
talked.
You just said it, yes. In Matthew, in Matthew 15, 24.
Matthew 15, he called the lost sheep Gentiles.
You asked, he called Israel Gentile, correct? Right? Or you speaking to that lady?
It's funny because I'm looking at that right now.
Matthew 15. Dude, it's not there.
Because when I do the whole Northern Tribe thing, my two scriptures is going to be Matthew 10, Matthew 15. That's like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's the only two places lost sheep is mentioned. And he don't even understand my question. I'm like, where does Jesus call Dude, this is a good question that Dwayne actually brought up on his live. I was like, I gotta steal that one.
What was it?
So, where does Jesus call Israelites Gentiles?
Right.
You're not gonna find it nowhere, nowhere. Because every time the Gentiles are mentioned, they all agree that those Gentiles there are non-Israelites.
Yeah, so Matthew's, it's funny he went to Matthew's 24 because that's where I was like, thank you. This is like back in the day. Thank you. So when he said, when Jesus Christ, so that's why we got to, again, it's a little, okay, so Jesus Christ was only sent to the northern tribe in Israel. You see how quiet it got? That's how it's going to be when I ask that question.
Yeah,
Said,
yeah.
the lost sheep is the northern tribe. Okay, so Jesus was only sent to the northern tribe. He wasn't sent to the southern tribe, right?
Yeah, that would be a good case to make. Yeah.
I'm definitely going there. Well, I could do that in Matthew
See,
10 or Matthew 15.
I view it, I know you may view it a little differently. I view that whole topic of who the Gentiles are as a separate topic from Romans 11. Only because we're going to be going left and right to this place, to that place. I just want to go to Romans 11 and clearly
Well,
established by what Paul is saying that these Gentiles here have salvation.
yeah, well, I'm the one that did that. That you guys are all over the place with the Gentile, salvation. I always said, man, I just only debate Romans 11. Like you guys would do the whole everywhere going. I'm like, nah, just Romans 11. But I said I'm gonna have fun with them because once they say, I see the time. It's a 5-hour debate, so I got time. So they
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Northern Israelites are the lost sheep. So I'm like, okay, thank you. Now we can talk about that and have fun with you. Then we could bounce to Romans 11.
You got to remember though, when you first started wanted to get into the Gentile salvation topic, you I told you should be in Romans 11, and you were like no, I could go to different places, and I got you to come to Romans 11 at some point. I think you just started watching videos.
And then because y'all all left. I'm like, yeah, I start watching videos. I start watching your and Ratazar, and I'm like, wow, like these guys, they really hate. What caught my attention is that when it's brought up, none of them like to stay there. Like Matthew
Yeah.
mentioned, they all like to run. So I'm like, yo, there's something here that they're running from.
Hmm.
So I
At
go in there
verse
like,
13 and 14.
I go in there like, oh, this is what they running from. Okay, this is fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. They call them Gentiles.
He didn't call Christ ain't never called the Israelite Gentile.
Mm-mm. Nope.
You sure about that?
Wait, you didn't know that?
Yeah, I'm
All right,
positive.
watch.
Wait, let's see where he goes. Wait, watch.
Now watch this. Now watch this. I'm gonna get it out Christ's own mouth now. Marcus, go to Matthew 18.
Right. Yeah, because we
know what
see
I'm
this in
looking
the
for? You know
Old
what I want,
Testament as
Marcus?
Notice I
well.
said Gentiles. Notice I
No,
said
Yeah,
Gentiles.
Matthew
Yeah, watch. He about to be like, "Wait, here we go."
It's cool. It's cool. Watch this. Matthew 18 verse 17. Let me show you.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican.
What's a heathen, bro? What's a heathen, bro? Now that's Christ in red. He's talking to his
A
own
heathen
people,
is
right?
somebody who worships another god.
A heathen
All right,
derives from the word.
So pause that. So even then, right? Even then, I would say I would be like, okay, because I believe you can act like a Gentile, and I believe you can act like a Jew. You can be. See, for me, it's practice. It's a mindset. You can be either one,
Right.
right? So it's like, well, I don't even disagree with you, but what I'm saying is the noun. Like I'm a black man. I can act
Right.
like a Chinese man or wherever else, but I'm a black man. So I mean, in a noun sense, like show me where he acknowledge them as like the actual Gentile, like no longer the Israelite.
Right.
The
And
noun,
you know,
not the
you know
adjective.
me, you know me, I'm staring at this thing. I'm like, man, I really want to bring up that adverb as,
Yeah,
but they're not gonna want to talk about it.
yeah.
But yeah, that's why I was like, that's why I was like, notice I said Gentiles, very specifically Gentiles, because heathen basically, it doesn't always denote somebody who's a non-Israelite, but in this sense it would, because it's using as and it's not calling them heathens. But yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
Gentile, they're synonymous.
Oh,
They
go
mean
ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because they're gonna always do this. They're gonna always go to heathen, whatever synonym that can go with Gentile. But you were saying the word Gentile. Like, no, show me the word Gentile, but they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna do a whole word salad thing.
Right.
Well, King James, he was a Roman. Oh, this guy, yeah.
Yeah, you going crazy over there.
Only when
Oh
I
man.
talk.
That's how my daughter be. She'd be like, Daddy, look, Daddy, look. And then she just do something stupid. She'd be like, see?
You
the same exact thing. I can turn on my camera and show you that in the Zone of Black Compare Bible teaching there. They mean the exact
Well, let me
same
just
thing.
wait.
So
Hold on,
right
let me.
here, so right here,
Wait.
we got Christ calling his people a Gentile. Why? Go up to verse 15.
Hold up.
No, hold
Wait,
on.
let me
I got you. I'm
respond. Let
going to
me
show you the
respond.
context of it. Read verse 15.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you. You asked me to show you Christ calling his people a Gentile. We reading it right now. Read verse 15.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee,
watch this. So thy brother, hold on, Vardy. Thy brother,
Yeah.
that's what the context he's talking about. Thy brother. So he's talking to his people. Read on now. Read on now. Show you.
You better stop touching stuff.
It says, and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
Read on.
But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more. Then in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. He's quoting law.
Hey,
And
real
if he shall neglect,
one second. I ain't mean to cut you off.
Just let him read it on out.
Wait, real quick.
Let him read it out first. That's in red. Don't stop Christ. You asked for this.
No.
Red. Come on, read it on out,
Look at your chat. It
don't matter about
Pamela
the
saying,
chat,
okay, all right.
hey,
Go
don't
ahead.
worry about the chat. Don't worry about the chat, Keith. Don't worry about that, man. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if it neglect to hear the church, let him be to thee as a heathen,
Gentile,
as a heathen man,
Gentile
and a
man.
publican.
Right.
Yeah.
And he talking
about
let me get
those were the ones against.
let me get my pushback.
So do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
No, I agree exactly what it says, but let me get my pushback.
Okay, so I answered your question.
Wait, Judas, you gotta let me respond, man.
I mean, you don't disagree, so I don't see what you're gonna respond. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Well, no.
I notice the way he asked it. He said, "Do you agree with that? Like what's written?" Like,
Right.
yeah, I agree. But that doesn't mean what's written is exactly what you're saying it means. So
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
that's when I would have, since he's trying to bully me, I'd just been like, Judas, brother, do you know the difference between eisegesis and exegesis? I would have had to do that because I got Captain with that. Captain was mad in that live debate. He's like, I don't know what that is. I don't care, So I would have been like, because that's important. It's like, dude, the verses you read in the Bible, I'm going to agree with every verse you read. Like, you're going to agree with me. Okay, but when you explain it, I might disagree. And that's the exegesis versus eisegesis. And then you're gonna be like, oh, because sometimes you got to put them at your foot, like but a real but not just to show off, but really because that's important. Like, yo, no, this is really important, and I know you don't know what it is. Okay, so this is the time for me to show you the difference.
Right. Yeah, I'm interested to see how you're gonna handle this conversation.
So do I got to debate all of them at the same time, like you? Like these guys come as a package. These guys come as no, we're all coming together. Like, dang.
I invited both because I think
Nah, if I gotta slap them both up, then okay, because I could tell they never met. I could tell like one is from California and the other one is from like the South.
Yeah.
Like they're more like they're like you and I. They're like online buddies because I could tell brother. Like you say he pronounced the R hard. That's definitely West Coast. And the other guy don't pronounce the R at all. He's brother. They are definitely from two different areas, two different states.
Yeah. Nah, I like the dynamic that both brings. I think it'll give you like a decent look in like when we start like, debating other people. This will be like a good like little prelim fight,
I don't mind beating up two at the same time.
Yeah. Nah, you gonna do fine.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I know Romans 11. That's what I'm gonna do fine. I don't care where you take me to Isaiah and this one, that one. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. Let's go back to Romans 11. Okay, you got to beat me here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna run it for like 9 more minutes, then I'm gonna hop off because it's almost 1. And I gotta do some stuff.
Head out the post office myself.
Okay, yeah, that's straight.
12 o'clock is when my cutoff. That's perfect.
Okay. All right, bet.
I disagree with your conclusion that he's calling them Gentiles because there's 2 reasons. Well, wait, come on. Let me give my reasons real quick. Mm-hmm. So when you read it, notice he says, "Let him be to you as a heathen." Right. So the term "as" is denoting something similar and not the same. So
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that because remember, did they have anything to do with the other nations?
But
no.
Let me just
notice I'm giving the rebuttal and he's asking more questions. Like I can't even get a quick rebuttal in, bro. Like dude, I'm literally breaking it down, I don't even talk when they going. And dude, he cuts in every single time. Did God deal with the other nation? Dude, they do that a lot. When you start making sense and start just like giving your rebuttal, people like, did God ever deal with the other nations? Are the nations saved? Blah blah blah. It's like, dude, chill.
Finish, but Judas, let me finish. Let me just finish the rest of it.
You wanted, okay?
Yeah, I know, but look, I ain't cut y'all off when y'all was reading. Y'all was going over y'all stuff, and let me get this off.
You did. I had to get you to stop so he can finish reading verse 8:17. Remember? But go ahead.
Yeah, because I was trying to bring up something in the chat. That's a side note, though.
I cut him off.
Yes. Remember, I was like, hold on, bro. Let him read the verse. Let him finish reading.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to say something.
No, but look,
it was about your chat. Words. It wasn't about this.
That was your exact words. I don't mean to cut you off. I say, well, let him finish reading. So go ahead, though.
Yeah, no, I was just saying because Hamlet was saying y'all wasn't letting nobody jump in, but I'm like,
gone now.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, but I was just gonna say that we've been talking, so that's kind of. I'm fair to. I'm fair to everybody. I'll wait up here if y'all talking to somebody else. Anyways, so and then when you look at the word heathen, I know you're going to look at Zondervan, but it's not going to give you the actual word that's here in Matthew 18. It's a different ethnicos. Word than yeah. That's not the word. That's not the word for Gentile. The word for Gentile is ethnos. Ethnikos is a different. It's a different variation of the word.
Brother, context supersedes, brother. Context supersedes.
But Matthew.
Context supersedes. I don't know how that answers anything. That they're just 2 completely different words.
Oh, I'm gonna hold him to that. He said context supersedes. All right, let me write
that
down. Yeah. Now here go old buddy come popping into the Greek. And I gotta clarify.
I'm gonna show you something.
Wait, hold up.
Look at him, bro. I can't even get a point, bro. Like, look at him, bro. Dude, like, as I'm talking, bro, they're going to other scriptures and just like cutting me off. Watch.
Anyway, but context supersedes. Context supersedes, bro. That's why I started in verse 15 to show you who the context was.
Judas.
I knew
it. But Judas is not the same word.
Bro.
You're saying context supersedes definition. I'm not even giving definition. I'm saying they're not the same word. And you're kind of like, I'm saying apples, you're saying oranges.
Mean, what does the word heathen mean?
It's one who's similar in culture. It's like culturally appropriation, basically. Culture appropriation.
I'm saying that's not a biblical definition, right?
No, it is. You can get it right
Where
off.
did
I
you
got it
get
off
that
right
from?
off Blue Letter.
Okay, so he showed you, right? In Blue Letter, what that word he used when you showed in Genesis, Vargas.
It means
Ethnicas. It's ethnicas.
ethnicas, right?
See?
Let's show what they
Yeah.
are,
Well,
right? This is a heathen man, G1482,
Right.
ethnicos, right? Adopted of the genius of customs of a people peculiar to a national, suited to the manners of the language of foreigners, strange, foreign. In the New Testament, savoring of the nature of pagans, alien to the worship of the true God,
That's what I said.
heathenish,
That's
of
what I
the
said.
pagan, the Gentile,
Right. So
Gentile.
Rafaya, when you look at that
Hold on,
outline,
I'm gonna show you. Look right here.
go to Thayer's. Go
Ethnicos,
to yeah.
I gotta teach them. Watch.
G1484,
Right.
national, in the especially a Gentile, a heathen man.
Right.
Right?
Go to Thayer's. Scroll down. Go to Thayer's.
Go to where?
Thayer's. That Thayer's Greek lexicon right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. So you see where it says number 3 in the New Testament, savoring of the nature of pagans, alien to the worship of the true God. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I just literally read right
okay,
here, bro.
remember,
I just read all
yeah,
of that.
watch
but
this. Now let's line that up in the gospel,
right.
right? Remember, you had Israelites worshiping Caesar.
And before you do that, Rafael, can you go back
You
to
had
the
Israelites
verse on
worshiping
Blue Letter?
Caesar. Were they not?
To where?
Blue
Back,
Letter.
like go back one, so you can look at all the how you before you clicked on that Strong's number. Yeah. Go to the word 2 words above ethnikos should be as. Go down. It's 2 words above the word we were looking at, ethnikos.
Let him be unto thee as right here.
Okay. Yeah. That no, go back one.
Just as, even as. So
Right.
what
Not,
is that telling you? They're
Yeah,
going
so
to be exactly like a pagan,
No, exactly. Like it's crazy.
a heathen.
Right.
That's what that does. So it's not making
Yeah.
sense.
No.
So-
So here's my point. When you have to qualify, this is an adverb. When you have to qualify with an adverb, it means that whatever is being said is not the same thing. So if I said you act like a dog, that word like is showing similarities in some sense, but I'm not saying that you are a dog. You get my point?
Right. Now apply that in the context. Hold on, Vargas. So now apply that in the context of Matthew 18:15, when that 17, when that word being used. In this context,
Right.
we're talking about verse 15,
It says,
thy brother. Now apply that.
Yeah, so it says,
what you
yeah,
just said.
let him,
That's what we're talking about.
it says, let him be to you like a heathen and a tax collector. So the same
Right.
attitude that you would have toward them, have toward your brethren if this occurs.
Right. So what was their attitude toward them? Did they deal with them?
It
No,
was
they did not. No, they did
yeah,
not
no.
deal with them, period, bro. They had no dealings with them. This how he's saying deal with your brother.
Yeah, like look, I should have brought this dude. Oh, there's so many rabbit trails I wanted to not go on for just time's sake, but treat them as a heathen and a publican. Well, he says they had no dealings with them, with the heathen or the publicans, because they would be in the same category. But Matthew, the disciple, was a publican. That's a good, if they bring this up, Matthew 18:17, that would be a good note to bring up that Matthew was a publican. So it's not like they didn't deal with them at all.
Right.
I'm gonna let it go for just, we'll let them finish out this point and then we'll end it here.
Right.
Who he called a Gentile. So that's Christ calling them a Gentile. That was
Well,
the
no,
point we went there.
that's what I'm saying. He's not
That's
calling
the
them a
point that we
Gentile.
went-
He's saying
Yeah.
they're like Gentiles in a sense. He's
But you
saying
asked me
if
to show you. He's still talking about his brother, correct? So he's talking about an Israelite, correct? That's the point, bro. That was made right
Yeah,
there.
but
Next point.
but
Next
here's the
point, bro. Real
here's the
talk.
point. But here's the point. He qualifies it by using that as. He can't just call them Gentiles because
Because
they're
if they're
not
not
fleshly Gentiles.
because if they're not behaving in that manner, because remember what verse 15 said. Moreover,
Right?
if
No,
your
I
brother
agree.
shall trespass against thee, and go tell him his fault between. That's like if you do something against me, right? I come to you, right? I let you know, hey, look, bro, you know what you did wrong, and I show you in the Bible where it was wrong. The Bible says, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Now, if you don't hear me, if you want to go back and forth with me, that's when verse 16 come in. But if he would not hear thee, then take one or two, right? More, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses, every word may be established, right? Because that's the law.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 19:15, verse 16, right? So
Yeah.
then,
No, here's my main
so now
point
you
with
don't
this
want to
though.
hear me, so I take Vargas and I take Deuteronomy with me, right? Hey, y'all, come on, man. You know the
I'm gonna pause it right here. Nah, that's perfect. Yeah, we got bro. Right after this point, me and the other dude Vargas, me and him start
Yeah.
getting into the Greek, and he start running from the Greek so quick, bro. He like so quick.
That's the
I'd be
white
like,
man
hey,
language anyway, man.
I'd be like, hey, pull up the. I had to teach him how to go to the parsing. I was like, see that little oval right there with the letters? Hey, go ahead and click that real quick, and then read this.
This is your voodoo, bro.
Oh man,
These
I
options aren't in
think
the Bible.
I think oh man, that's why I think I really want to have a conversation with this dude and Jada Jew on the Trinity because I want to talk to Vargas about John 1:1. I want to go there into some other Greek because he going into the Greek, so I'm like, okay, let's look at some Greek. I'm gonna pull up some sources. You got blue letter, but I got a few more things. But yeah, you can see it's real lively all over the place. But you'll be able to
Yeah, yeah,
probably keep them at certain places a little bit better than I was. Oh man.
yeah. Definitely. I'm gonna have fun with them. I'm not gonna read. I'm gonna pick and choose which verses I want to debate. And you know what I'm gonna do? As it right in
Yeah.
their mouth, I might not challenge right away. I'll research it and just leave it there and come back to it later.
Yeah, yeah,
Do the
yeah.
research because that's what I want to do. I want to debunk everything eventually, but I'm gonna
Right.
do it when I get a chance.
And that's why I didn't
But yeah, now
like
he
I
said,
didn't tackle every single thing that they said, especially like right now. I just looked up where was another nation called foolish. I didn't even know that when we were talking. But that's not a big deal. I just want to see all the points that they're gonna try to go to. Because a lot of
yeah,
them,
I'm gonna hold them to certain things.
yeah,
Certain things
yeah,
stood out.
the Deuteronomy
He said
32
context
21.
supersedes, but more so context supersedes. So I'm gonna have them explain that. Brother, explain that. What does that mean? Context supersedes. All right.
And then we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 32 21. Well, what's the context here?
Right. Yeah, and don't forget, I'm gonna do my spell alarm. I won't do it right away, but maybe one of my goals. I'm gonna do the comprehension and context out of context. I'm gonna say it slow. I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
brother. So when you're reading something, it doesn't mean you comprehend. That's why the Most High said, "Let them hear. Let them with ear, hear." Something like that. Paraphrasing. Let them have an ear here, and what
Oh,
I
he that
see,
has an
like,
ear to ear, let him hear.
yeah,
Yeah.
just because you're reading it and listening doesn't mean you understand what you're reading. I'm gonna prove you don't. Yes. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yes. So that's it on that. I'm a. Wow. Yeah. They're dumber than what I thought they were going to be. So I
Yeah.
gotta develop come up with a strategy how to talk to them. They're not going to understand anything that I'm saying. That they're not going to appreciate anything I'm saying. So I have to just hit them hard. I'm thinking about. I'll come up with something because my brain is scrambling right now as we speak on what strategy I'm going to use for them. And I'm debating: should I be long with it, long drawn out like you, or should I just? Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna ask what that means. Context supersedes, and just deal with that's okay. So let's just read the context first, and let's ask each other about the context. And then you got a scripture here and there, you can do it, but we're gonna stay with the context. And then when we're done with these 17 verses, real small, it's a short read, we can now come with the evidence.
Yeah, and you can have fun
I
with
think I'm
these
gonna do that.
guys, you know. I had this long conversation. At the end of it, they said I was lying about something. I was like, no, you said this earlier, and that's why they sent me this video. Because I was like, bro, I'm gonna find it. So
Yeah,
I can't
I
wait
am
till we
gonna
get to the
have fun with those
part.
guys. They seem like they're fun. If they
Yeah.
ask my name, I'm gonna say him.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
might say
yeah, yeah.
I might say him Brown. I might say him. My last name Brown.
No,
Him.
I gave him some of your credentials. I was like, I think he, because I said, yeah, he debated Captain Sorry, blah, blah. They don't really care about none of that. They're not gonna
Yeah,
run.
nah.
Like
Because
they
their
they
camp is
cool.
the true camp.
Right, right,
Okay.
right.
They got
And
the spirit.
I was like, yeah, I think you debated WFI. I didn't know any names, so because Vargas, the one who is like literally pointing at the screen right now, going to everything, he's in WFI. The other guy isn't.
Yeah, WFI is afraid of me. Like they might. I highly doubt. If they spoke to me, they will remember my voice and the way I debate. So they will because they are traumatized. So so they will. Once I get started, they're gonna know like, okay, it's that guy. But I doubt if it would be one of them who I spoke to because
I don't
a
think so.
whole bunch of them. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of them.
But at the end, if you want to name drop somebody you talk to, you go for it.
Yeah. I can tell them about cooked, but I might even do I might one round knock on first round knock on move with
Yeah.
the because remember on that list was Joseph was the father, so I might just do a quick one rounder like, hey brother,
Ooh.
you
Ooh.
mind just reading Matthew's 1 real quick and
I'm not
just
gonna
do a
lie,
one
dude.
rounder.
You didn't even see that. Yeah. I think I saw Trinity first and my eyes saw red. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We,
Yeah, so I think I'll be tempted right before they get off. But hey, man, you said Joseph and the Father. I just got one question, brother.
no, it says Jesus is not the Father. That's what they said. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
But
yeah,
we can kind of poke that in
no.
there if you want,
Now
just to,
I'll leave them alone. I thought that's what it said. I couldn't see it. I thought it said Joseph. Now, if that's not their talking point, I'll leave it alone.
yeah. But yeah, I want to get them in for one other Trinity debate after this. So don't beat them up too hard, but definitely, hit them with
Now,
some good punches.
I'm actually just have fun with them. Like
Yeah.
if you see how I debate, like the guys I debate now on my topics, they keep calling back. They're like 7-time repeated guests, so I don't, make them run away. Like they kind, I think they do. I think they like to be corrected, and they don't have the peers that can do it. So they just come get their beating. Like kind of like when they spoke to Christ. They got beat up so many times, but low key they were getting like educated.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
they were just too proud to just ask him for the answer. Because remember, they're elders too. They got so they're okay. Let me get beat up in a debate, and that's my way of learning without asking.
Oh,
Humbling myself and
before you
asking.
before you go, something interesting I learned when you read in the Gospels, it talks about the scribes and the Pharisees. I was like, what's the difference between scribes and Pharisees? Basically, scribes are teachers of the law. So basically, uh, Pharisees could be scribes, but not all scribes are Pharisees. Just in
Okay.
case you're reading that and that may be relevant at some point, I was just saw that. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely. Yeah, just have fun with these guys. These dudes are. You see, I came in the beginning, just kind of just dropping jokes.
Yeah.
Dude, the last time when I went in, I was setting up the debate for you, and me and the dude, we started talking about Japan, and he was just asking me a bunch of stuff about Japan. So we were just talking about that for a minute. Like it was like 30, maybe 40 minutes, and then I ended up hopping off. But yeah,
It's funny you mentioned Japan because I had just did a recent video on my favorite points, how they became a superpower in 40, 50 years. I really did a video like the last 2 weeks on how they became a superpower using ChatGPT for extra help. And I got the visual thumbnails kind of dope because like I got Japan, remember how they became a superpower in 40, 50 years. So the thumbnail is Japan with muscles. It's the country with muscles. So it looks fly. They got the red circle in
Brother
his
Trespass
abs.
gives me. I went to him one on one.
oh, Oh, my bad.
Yes,
Go ahead.
it's pretty fly. Now the thumbnail is Japan, like the actual country, like the drawn out with muscles, like as a man with the red dot by his like abs, the red circle. It's kind of fly.
I just thought about something this lady said. I had to look it up on ChatGPT real quick. She said, dude, it sounded so funny at the time. I did not want to challenge her because it was a lighthearted combo. But I was like, we were just talking about Japan. She hopped up, she started talking. She been here too. She was prior military. She was like, she's like, yeah, you know, the Japanese people are really short because of the bombs America dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I was like, in my head, I was like, that sounds like the stupidest thing I
Yeah,
ever heard in
that
my
doesn't make
life.
sense. Okay, so why are these other folks over here short?
So
And
it
why are
said,
all these Latinos short?
well, it's like, why are the Chinese people short? Why are the Korean
Yeah,
people short as well? They are from common descent. So I
and
chat
why is my little
GPT'd
cousin short?
it. I chat GBT'd it and it said, no, the average height of Japanese people is not the result of the atomic bomb. That's a myth not supported by scientific or historical data. And then it breaks down some facts.
It's low key. I don't know the racial term for rhetoric against Japanese people, but I guarantee that's part of it.
Oriental. Yeah, Orientals.
Yeah, yeah, I guarantee that's part of like a. But I want to just specify just on Japan because everybody get hit with a bomb. Like, so it's a poke at Japanese people because other Orientals are not, charged with attacking America. So you got a lot of crazy patriots who will always hold that grudge against Japan because they attacked
Japan.
Pearl
Yeah.
Harbor because their great grandfather's veteran and war vet, and they take that to heart.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and slide on now. I gotta get to
All right,
sleep.
all right. I'm gonna start
Tomorrow night
what I
and
gotta do right
keep it
now.
going. So
All right,
if you available same time tomorrow, I'm gonna go live and keep going from where we at.
okay, yep,
Joe, I sent you an invite on Zoom, so just accept it so I can just invite you easier.
okay.
All right. All right, bro, man. Peace out, man.